But to dive into the dark depths that and around gain media attention from publication, Local 58 itself is presented as character of Paul as he receives and no other story to tell, a cube retrieval from existing as the catalog with the Unfiction Iceberg, created and posted by user Jimbo Seth on the r/Iceberg Charts subreddit, aims to capture a wide range of unfiction, ARG, analog horror, and narrative stories within the Iceberg. Containing over 101 entries, this second installment into this Iceberg series will cover tiers 3 and 4 of the list. These stories range from ongoing, to cancelled, to completed series, and will include stories from all across the internet. If you've not yet watched the first part of this series, I recommend doing so before watching the second entry. Given that the Iceberg was created during the summer of 2022, I will be making updates as the Unfiction community is constantly evolving and shifting. I will be providing links to analysis and explanation videos if you're interested in learning more down in the comments section. And of course, this is your spoiler warning, as much of the content discussed may reveal key plot points or information regarding these series. Now, grab a snack, turn off the lights, and settle in. Let's dive into the dark depths of the Unfiction Iceberg. Tier 3 features Unfiction series that are popular, but are more obscure entries. Even if you're a fan of ARGs and Unfiction series, it's possible that some of these entries may be new to you, even if they already have somewhat of a following. However, given that this Iceberg was made a few months back, some of these entries may no longer belong on this tier, but some are higher in the list. The Wilbur Soot ARG, also known as Editor Wilbur, was created by YouTube personality Wilbur Soot on Jack Sucks at Life's channel. This game lasted from December 16, 2018 to February 23, 2019. The alternate reality game remains unsolved as of January 2023, with a game theorist positing a theory surrounding the content. This ARG is unrelated to the more recent games that Soot has created on his channel. The narrative of the ARG follows Jack's perspective as he hires a random guy, Wilbur Soot, to edit his videos. The email is strange in and of itself, mostly bashing Jack's then editor Kai. Despite this, Wilbur is hired. However, with every completed video Jack receives, Wilbur has spliced in scenes that contribute to an overarching narrative. One such edit has Wilbur in an abandoned house, claiming he's being chased by people before he flees due to the sounds of knocking. Another video has Wilbur sitting on a keg staring at a screen. While later on in the video, a link to an unlisted video of Wilbur reading Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven is provided in the corner of the screen. Later in the series, Wilbur seemingly attempts to get rid of Kai, Jack's other editor, with Kai's Find a Friend geotag, placing them within the River Thames in London. Wilbur used YouTube videos as well as Twitter, Discord, and other social media to push forward certain narratives, theories, and the ARG itself. Real-life caches, hidden codes in videos, audio files, drawings, and more began to fill the corners of the game. The overall narrative seems to indicate that Wilbur is on the run. Someone or something is chasing him down, presumably due to something he's done. What exactly this something is never fully established. Soot mentioned in an August 2022 interview that all of the ARG clues have been discovered, but the story itself has yet to be fully pieced together. The game theorists, Red Herring, and Fred Jonesy have videos discussing the mystery, with Matt Pack claiming to have solved the story of the Wilbur Soot ARG. However, as of the making of this video, Soot has yet to confirm nor deny game theorists' proposed solution to the game. Maybe you will be the one to solve the mystery. Yet another piece of media created by the creative mind of Alan Resnick. This House Has People in It is a short film originally aired on Adult Swim in early 2016. The short film itself is stylized and told from the perspective of 9 separate security cameras, watching a family inside their home. Over the course of the next 12 minutes, the family begins to break down into a dysfunctional mess, to put it mildly. A mother, a father, a grandmother, a daughter, a son, an infant, and a repairman are scattered throughout the house. The family begins to panic once they realize the daughter Medicine is somehow stuck to the kitchen floor, unable to be moved, and unconscious. As the parents do their best to move the daughter from the floor of the kitchen, and guests begin to arrive for the son's birthday party, Madison begins phasing through the ground. Over the course of the next 10 minutes, chaos and panic ensues inside the house. This house has people in it is best experienced for yourself. However, the narrative goes just beyond the 12-minute short, with over 2 hours worth of content to be explored through the fictional company AB Surveillance Solutions website. YouTuber THollow1 has arranged the footage in chronological order for easier viewing. Additionally, Nightmind has an excellent video that explains the series. If you're a fan of films like VHS, you may like what This House Has People in It has to offer. Ben's Playhouse was a strange YouTube channel that operated between November 16, 2012 and November 8, 2015, prior to all videos being privatized. Other YouTube channels have re-uploaded all of Ben's videos once they went down, so the horror series can still be viewed online. The videos themselves are typically fairly short, with most ranging between 5 and 30 seconds long, with one 10-minute video being the exception. The content of the videos are typically surreal in nature, with distorted visuals, low resolution quality, and disturbing imagery. The series incorporated another character known as Colin to the now-defunct Vine website. However, it appears as though Colin went missing after exploring an asylum that Ben is known to prowl. The posts that once appeared on Vine are seemingly lost forever, with no trace to be found online except for what I can dig up. However, older videos discussing the ARG have the lost videos in their analysis, such as Nightmind. The series gained attention for the perplexing and disturbing content. Some viewers began to suspect that the series was the work of an actual kidnapper/serial killer, based upon the disappearance of Colin off of Vine and the subsequent takeover by the person now known only as Ben, and the apparent kidnapping of an unidentified woman in the final 2 videos of the series. This eventually led to police being involved, YouTube taking down the videos for violating community guidelines, and Ben's Playhouse seemingly disappearing from the internet. However, in 2019, a Twitter account under the name @bensplayhouse1 seemingly hinted towards the series continuing. The account uploaded a single dark image with no text accompanying it, leading some fans to speculate the series' return. Unfortunately for the fans of the series, Ben's Playhouse has not made a return, and judging from the reasons behind the series' original cancellation, it is unlikely the series will make a reappearance on the internet. If you're curious to understand more of the mysteries surrounding the ARG, check out the videos by Nightmind, Clockwork, and Dreamless Sleep. I recall stumbling upon 2020 Vision myself back during the initial run. 2020 Vision, run by the content creator known as Kai, featured around 50 videos all uploaded in 2017. The gimmick of the channel was to have a blinking eye featuring the name of a celebrity, politician, or public figure of some sort, with the intention of the video to predict the person's death during the year 2020. The channel quickly developed a following, with an active Discord server, an ARG of sorts operating within the Discord through a voice chat channel broadcasting a string of numbers as clues, an overarching narrative that pitted teams and agendas against one another, and uncovering 2020 Vision's true mission. The videos were created using a custom API that scoured Wikipedia pages for celebrities still alive. Once found, a 2020 Vision video would then be auto-generated. After the celebrity died, 2020 Vision would edit the video to include the death date and make the video public on YouTube. Through this method, the video appears to have been uploaded a few years prior, as if actually predicting the death of the celebrity in question. From there, Kai launched a Discord server that fans could join. On the server, a video would be playing through voice chat with barely legible numbers. This, known simply as The Machine, became somewhat instrumental in giving fans clues. However, in April of 2021, this machine will be taken over by an opposing force known as SCR-TB. Their intention was to put all of humanity's combined knowledge in 2021 into the first humans that appeared in Africa approximately 1.25 million years ago. On the flip side, once 2020 Vision discovered this plot, a counterplan to replace all humans with monkeys was put into effect. And even later still, the machine was found to be sentient, which predictably set out on murdering both SCR-TB and Vision. After a back and forth, personality wiping the machine, loading it up with human emotions, the machine shut down for good. The video Eyes Closed appears to be the final public upload, becoming the reverse of the initial starting video, Eyes Open. As of 2022, newer videos have been made public, signaling that the project is not over or in a state of inactivity. "2H32, optionally read as 2 hours and 32 minutes, is an ongoing YouTube horror series created by artist P that began in July of 2016. Following the motif of the numbers 2 and 3 being used repeatedly, videos are uploaded on the 23rd of a selected upload month, though the exact schedule for uploads is somewhat inconsistent. The video length is 2 minutes and 32 seconds, and the in-universe time reaching 2:32 AM at some point in each video. The channel features 32 videos that relay the overarching story. The story itself is not told in chronological order, so it is up to interpretation and guesstimation on the exact chronology of the series. Initially, the story and objective of the horror series was unknown for the first number of years, with no apparent coherency to the entries. The vague and blurry imagery, the videos told out of order, and the lack of dialogue made understanding the series difficult for many. However, the nightmarish content has been heavily praised by the Unfiction horror community, with each entry pushing the visual and auditory medium to its limits. A recurring character, the conductor, appears in the entry libretto, wherein they are listening to audio from various YouTubers analyzing the series. All in all, 2H32 isn't the easiest series to explain in an Iceberg listing, so I highly recommend you check out the series for yourself, or look for your preferred 2H32 analysis video.
Get away from me! No!
As mentioned earlier in the video, this Iceberg was created a few months back prior to Wendigoon's video on the series, and prior to the Mandela Catalogue's meteoric rise. At this point, I would safely put the Mandela Catalogue in Tier 1, given the pervasive nature of the series' content across social media platforms, especially on TikTok. The Mandela Catalogue is an ongoing analog horror series created by Alex Kister on YouTube. While the narrative initially began as a series of anthological entries, the style of the videos shifted to a volume format, typically around 20 to 40 minutes long, that tells one cohesive story in each volume. The Mandela Catalogue takes place in an alternate reality, wherein Christianity was overtaken by Satan from the start, preventing the birth of Christ and rising as a Messiah in his place. In the ensuing 2,000 years, Satan releases demonic entities known as alternates to terrorize humanity. The series picks up in the late 80s to early 90s and documents from the fictional Mandela County as they struggle with these so-called alternates. Overarching antagonists, such as Satan and the Caesar Torres alternate, appear throughout the series in each volume to varying capacities. As of July 31st of 2022, a Mandela police station website has been launched to further the Unfiction series into a more ARG direction. Using the username ThatcherDavis92 and the password EverydayGetsDarker allows fans to access Davis's case files, including never-before-heard audio files, still images, and a video only available on the website. You can view the website at mandelapolice.com. The Mandela Catalogue initially was a more niche video series, but after Wendigoon's coverage of the analog horror saga in October of 2022, Kister's project saw rapid growth the creators remained humble about. The Mandela Catalogue sees continual coverage by a variety of YouTubers, consistent updates, and even a spin-off parody series called The Scrimblow Catalogue, created by Kister himself. As mentioned towards the beginning of the Iceberg, ECKVA is the ongoing spiritual successor to Troy Wagner's Marble Hornets Slender Man horror series that began on October 13th, 2016, following the cancellation of Clear Lake's 44. technically a soft reboot of Clear Lakes, and stylistically different from the original Marble Hornets series. ECKVA is technically set within the same universe as its predecessor, but shares no characters in common. Instead, the series focuses on a character known as S. Hawkins, as they attempt to uncover the origins of a strange broadcast, apparently originating from an abandoned house. The narrative covers this ongoing investigation. S. Hawkins inherited an abandoned house and spent time cleaning it out. While there, Hawkins discovers that they can tap into a broadcast signal from the ECKVA network, a company and broadcasting station he believed to have long since been defunct. After setting up a system of recording broadcasts remotely, Hawkins begins to post his findings online. Throughout the course of the story, the ECKVA broadcast revealed to be surreal and nightmarish, often hinting towards knowing about Hawkins, and gearing the broadcast towards him in particular. An unknown individual continuously breaks into the abandoned house, leaving Hawkins notes and clues to figure out the mystery of ECKVA. Along with the horror series, the alternate reality game features an interactive website known simply as ECKVA.net, an active Twitter account, and even a video game on the fictional website. Wagner's latest series is still ongoing today, though the uploads have become fairly spaced out starting in 2019, with a hiatus in 2020 likely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. If you're a fan of Wagner's work, consider checking out the series. Cat Ghost is a horror comedy YouTube series with ARG aspects, created by Chris Patrick and Alex Ruiz. Cat Ghost ran from June of 2017 to December of 2019, with a final episode entitled Acceptance. The series follows 3 characters, Elon, Gideon, and Nara. All characters have varying forms depending on the episode and the medium. The episodes are split up into 3 separate sections referred to as sagas. The Intro Saga, encompassing Cat Ghost 1-3, the Creature Saga, encompassing 4-7, the Void Saga, encompassing 01-02, Cat Ghost 8, and Warmth, and the Portal Saga, encompassing 9-13. Each saga reveals information regarding the backgrounds of the characters, their original fates, and their misadventures. This series is notable for including playable games along with each episode. Each of these games, typically covering and expanding on content from that specific episode, adds an extra layer of lore while revealing key information regarding Gideon, Elon, and Nara. While the series is comedic in nature, it does not stray away from the heavier themes, such as existentialism, immortality, metamorphosis and rebirth, and for more horror-based content and imagery. After the Cat Ghost series portion ended, the team began uploading Portuguese translation onto the official channel, due to the series' popularity in countries like Brazil. If you're a fan of another Chris Patrick-related project, The Bedfellows, you may find the comedy and themes of Cat Ghost right up your alley. Hypnagogic Archive is a horror web series based around the website of the same name. Hosted on the NeoCities website hosting service, Hypnagogic Archive self-describes as, "Here at Hypnagogic Archive, we're dedicated to preserving the weird and the wonderful from years gone by. Are you a fan of Web 1.0, otherwise known as the Old Web? You've come to the right place. Our team of experts scours the pages of Web 1.0 material to bring you forgotten gems and hidden treasures, many of which you probably forgot about. Whether you're in for classic blog posts that'll make you ruffle, or videos filmed in 2007 on a Nokia smartphone, we've got your back. We stock new material regularly from a wide variety of classic sites, so stay tuned." The website contains a handful of pages and content to explore, including text files, videos that link to the official YouTube channel, a guestbook that advise you do not click on, and a personal blog containing written accounts of events from the perspective of Ellis, the new owner of the archive. The website claims to be part of the RetroNet Web Ring, a collection of websites that seek to archive and emulate Web 1.0 websites and content. A good deal of stories told to the archive are anthological in nature, hence the archive label. The contents range from alien encounters, supernatural experiences, vanishing buildings, ravings of seemingly insane people, and much more. Videos follow a similar pattern. Tape recordings of strange commercials and broadcasts, encounters with supernatural entities, and surreal footage with a chunk filmed by the aforementioned Ellis, and others coming from fans submitting them. while the overall narrative doesn't extend too deeply, and the content of the videos are more surreal and bizarre than horrific or disturbing. The website is an enjoyable experience to explore. It's almost as if you stumbled upon a strange website late at night, with a whole host of supposed true stories and videos tucked away in this niche corner of the internet. The Hypnagogic Archive also has a fairly active subreddit and a Discord server for those interested in dissecting and discussing the anthology series. The channel sits at around 3,600 subscribers around the time of writing, so if you enjoy content similar to Netflix's Archive 81, I recommend you check out the official Hypnagogic Archive website and YouTube channel and support the creators and fans. Yet another entry that likely deserves a spot higher up on the tier, given its steady rise in popularity over the last year or so. The Monument Mythos Analog Horror series, read by Alex Casanas, is one of the more unique and refreshing horror series to emerge out of the analog horror craze. Posted on the Mr. Manticore YouTube channel, the Monument Mythos quickly became renowned for its stunning visuals, its intricate lore and plotlines, its incredible voice acting, and its exceptional take on the analog horror subgenre. The Monument Mythos follows a variety of characters in a variety of time periods, starting in the 1800s and ending in the year 2022. To put it simply, the plot is a tad absurd. This series follows an anthological framework set in an alternate timeline, focusing on different historical monuments and the supposed entities lurking within and underneath them. The overarching antagonist is revealed to be a massive serpentine-like entity living within the earth. This eldritch horror must be appeased through sacrifices at these public monuments, lest the Lovecraftian monster break free from the earth, destroying it in the process. Along with this, the narrative discusses feuds between factions that are at odds with one another, specifically the government as it attempts to appease the monstrous entity, an organization wanting to free the monster and end the world, and journalists/common people attempting to uncover the truth behind the monuments and the horned serpent living within the earth. The series features other cosmic elements as well. A subplot involving sentient trees, referred to as special trees, is introduced early on. These trees are capable of transporting people through time and universes, and are integral in the creation and introduction of the horned serpent. The trees are also critical to the suffering of certain characters, primarily a young girl named Virginia, who is ripped from her home universe and tossed into a totally foreign one. Other subplots include the struggles of a President Rockefeller and the crimes he's committed, the public love for President James Dean and the intense opposition he faces in the 1960s and 70s, and the investigative journalism of Nathaniel Arnoldson as he attempts to uncover the truth behind the monuments and the horned serpent. Living within a multiverse of works created by Casanas, the Monument Mythos shares a spotlight with other short works of fiction, such as the Crescent King miniseries, the Corner Folk miniseries, the House in the Ocean miniseries, and the Monument Mythos sequel series, The Nixonverse. All series are related in one form or another, even if just tangentially. In an explosive episode entitled Alcatraz Apocalypse, the Monument Mythos series came to a close on February 22nd, 2022. The finale featured outstanding voice acting, visual effects, and transitioned the series into its next part, the ongoing Nixonverse saga. The sequel series roughly picks up where the Monument Mythos left off, but focuses on another universe mentioned periodically throughout the original, building an entirely new reality for you to explore. The Walten Files is known for its animatronic imagery that is inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's video game franchise. The series, created by Martin Walls, utilizes select real-life photographs but primarily uses 2D animation to convey the story. Walls' series gained a following in the Five Nights at Freddy's circles, and after an expose analysis video on the series in July of 2021, received wider attention from the Unfiction community as a whole. Living animatronics are the continual focus of the Walten Files series, primarily discussing Bond the Buddy in its various incarnations, including a television show, a burger restaurant, and even a storage facility. Similar to the subject matter within FNAF, the Walten Files follows a similar trend of imbuing the animatronics with the souls of murdered people. The series also includes gruesome deaths through the animatronics, with people being pulled into them, mutilated, and often dying of blood loss and trauma. The story details the opening of a restaurant featuring animatronic entertainment by the titular Walten, Jack Walten, along with friend Felix Kranken in the mid-1970s. After the deaths of his 2 children due to drunk driving by Felix, Jack disappears shortly after. 2 children, buried out in a field, possess a rabid doll in hopes of revealing their fate. Rosemary Walten, Jack's wife, is dismembered and stuffed into another animatronic by Bond the robot, possibly possessed by Jack himself. Their eldest daughter, Sophie, witnesses the entire ordeal, kicking off many of the events of the series into motion. As of 2023, the series is still ongoing, so the full mystery of the Walten Files has yet to be uncovered and understood. If you're a fan of analog horror, of Five Nights at Freddy's, or possessed animatronics committing any number of horrible crimes, I recommend giving the Walten Files a shot.
So this package arrived today, and it contains a game, one that I think basically no one has ever played. But before we try it out, I need to tell you the weird tale that's behind it.
Catastrophe Crow began its life as a seemingly innocuous YouTube video uploaded by Adam Butcher. In this video, Butcher detailed a cancelled and thought long-lost-to-time Nintendo 64 title known as Catastrophe Crow. The Crow was going to break records, implementing a unique revival system that would push the boundaries of the player's experience. Lorenzo, the lead designer, truly believed Crow would be beyond a game. During the production, the release date saw continual pushbacks and delays, causing rumors to circulate online. Disgruntled employees took to forums to complain about their lead designer, how he had taken full control of the game, how Lorenzo had not gone home in months, and so much more. Eventually, Opus Interactive went bankrupt while working on the title, leaving Lorenzo as the sole developer of Catastrophe Crow up until late 2001 when Nintendo's GameCube was announced, and the N64's life had come to a natural conclusion. Lorenzo up and vanished, feared dead, and Catastrophe Crow appeared lost forever. However, Butcher notes that he found a copy while browsing eBay, hoping to find a development cartridge. The rest of the video is Butcher playing through this apparent development copy of the lost title. Though, while it starts off normal enough, the game descends into chaotic and surreal madness. In reality, Catastrophe Crow never existed, and was instead the clever creation of Butcher himself. The video and the video game itself acted as a subversive ARG, one that truly made thousands believe that Catastrophe Crow was a legitimate cancelled N64 title. So much so that certain online encyclopedias and information resources refer to the game as if it were an actual title that existed at one point. Crow eventually attracted the attention of larger content creators, such as Nightmind, the game theorists, Inside a Mind, and many more, bolstering the mystery surrounding this polygonal title. The story behind the alternate reality game is a tragic one. Lorenzo originally had the idea for Catastrophe Crow after looking at his daughter's drawings, one of which featured an injured crane. Adapting the idea, Lorenzo wanted to create a game his daughter would enjoy. Unfortunately, his daughter grew more and more ill until her eventual death, coinciding with his steady descent into madness and obsession over the title. A ROM of Crow was leaked online around the time of the ARG's height, allowing fans to actually try their hand at the game and experience it for themselves firsthand. As of August of 2021, it appears that the ARG has come to an official end through Adam Butcher's official Twitter account. However, I highly suggest giving the game a try.
Endings are really difficult. Humans in general, we don't like endings. We don't want to believe that we're going to have an ending. We don't like it when a movie ends or a book ends or our favorite show ends. For that reason, writing a finale is nearly impossible.
Cipher Hunt was an alternate reality game created by Alex Hirsch surrounding the Disney Channel show Gravity Falls. The ARG, which began and ended between July and August of 2016, occurred after the conclusion of the Gravity Falls television series. The goal of the game was to solve clues posted online in order to find a Bill Cipher statue, a character from the show, in real life.
commission a statue of Bill Cipher. I'm going to go out into Oregon. I'm going to film that statue. I'm going to hide a clip of that film inside the episode. I'm going to throw an international treasure hunt where I go to Russia and I go to Japan and I go to all these other places. I'm going to hide clues. It's going to be like National Treasure, and the entire internet's going to work together and they're going to find this thing. It was just like...
The clues were scattered around the globe, from Russia to Japan, and to finally within a few states in the US. These clues included geocaches, ciphers, puzzles, partial maps, a jar of eyeballs, and much more. The hunt itself ended on August 2nd, 2016, after being found in a forest in Reedsport, Oregon. Following the conclusion of the few-week hunt, the Cipher statue was temporarily displayed at the Bicentennial Park in Reedsport, before being moved to Confusion Hill, an entertainment area in Northern California's Redwood Forest. All in all, there's not a whole lot to relate regarding this hunt, and this entry simply covers the outline of said hunt.
A Bill Cipher statue out of...
Hello, this is day whatever of me being trapped in this room. I don't know what I'm doing here, don't know why I'm here.
PBhere is a 3D animated TikTok alternate reality game that ran from October of 2020 to December of the same year. Created by content creator Yatom Top, an animator, musician, and game maker, the story follows the titular PB, who is attempting to escape a facility he finds himself trapped within. During its run, fans get to interact with PB and offer him suggestions on how he could break out of the clinical room. Overall, the series features around 31 entries, with a few other TikToks on the account advertising merchandise and acting as a credits video. In December of 2021, a full year after the series ended, a final epilogue video was posted that revealed the overall fate of PB and the sinister corporation holding him captive. As stated, the series follows the titular PB, an individual trapped within a padded room with no real memories he can recall. After some help from commenters, PB is able to figure out the code to his door and get it to unlock. The hallway he enters into is a bare concrete passageway with a singular corpse around the corner. PB continues to traverse the abandoned underground facility he finds himself trapped within, updating fans as he attempts to find his way out. PB eventually finds a clone of himself floating in a vat of fluid. Fans quickly realize that PB likely stands for Perfect Being, and that this PB is part of a project to create a supposed perfect entity. Along the way, a dark figure is seen within the background of one of the videos. Shortly after, PB's personality seems to take a shift, indicating that the original PB has either died or has been captured. Eventually, another clone uploaded with the original PB's memories is freed from the vat of liquid described earlier. By the end of the series, PB is given the option of deleting all PB-related data so that no other PB clones can be created and be put through the suffering. Unfortunately, the fans push back against this idea, fearing PB would die and be left with no way to transfer his consciousness or memory. And with that, PB walks free. One final TikTok, uploaded a year after the series ended, shows the aftermath of PB's escape. The corporation behind the creation of PBs relays the passing of the original PB, noting their only 1-year lifespan, but thanks to fans and commenters for allowing the data to be kept. With this, the corporation Infra Biotech is now able to create more PB clones and spread them across the globe. As fans commented, this is truly the bad end that they wanted to avoid, and that the PB they had come to know and love had passed.
If it weren't for the support from the extranet, from our side to yours, Infra Biotech would like to thank you for protecting the legacy of the PB program.
POSTcontent, a surreal and horrific alternate reality game, began on December 23rd, 2018, with the initial episode, Another Shitty Night, and ending with the final 14-minute episode, Flutter, uploaded on December 29th, 2020. The game garnered attention not too long after its release, with an active Reddit being created to dissect the series, and with popular YouTubers joining the discourse to provide their own interpretation of the events unfolding. Nightmind, Nexpo, Debunk File, and even some ordinary gamers gave the series a go, provided feedback and analyses, and ultimately served to boost the game's audience. The series follows a young Danish man named Peter as he navigates being trapped within a haunted house with nightmarish demons hell-bent on doing him harm. His own personal trauma and anger is on display through certain videos, with the reveal that his best friend has been murdered, pushing the plot beyond the simple tormenting of past mistakes. As the series progresses, a new plotline and mystery is discovered, and our protagonist is revealed to not be who we think he is. However, I will not spoil the ultimate mystery of POSTcontent. POSTcontent has been praised for its mysterious storytelling, creative costume and creature designs, and the overall plotlines featured within this series. Thematically, the series does a decent job at conveying trauma and mental illness to an extent. If you're a fan of more psychological supernatural series, POSTcontent may be up your alley. What began as direct messages from apparent porn bots on pre-sanitized Tumblr quickly evolved into a macabre mystery, featuring a NeoCities website called Max 2019. The mystery of Sexy Girl Max 2019 began on June 20th, 2018, through the direct messaging of Tumblr users Femoid and Kramergate. Each message, rather than sending typical bot texts, instead sends the phrases, "Hey P-Brain, you teleport," and "Hi Beaver Brains, can you teleport?" Links which then led users to an old unsolved ARG quickly transported players to the Max 2019 NeoCities website. From there, investigators and internet sleuths alike began piecing together the mystery of the strange account and the strange website. The website itself, structured after biblical spheres and entities, led users down one strange rabbit hole. Some pages held distorted images, others biblical text, and still others angels. At one point in time, a live stream ran on the website, but halted long ago. Eventually, another girl by the name of Anita became involved with the ongoing mystery. Concepts of a sickness stench arose during this period, with symptoms including nausea, wet spots, black spots, screaming, and hitting being described, as well as guardian angels that communicate through SSTV signals, saving a biblical archangel trapped in limbo through some form of ritual, and several other oddities. The entire saga itself is somewhat fractured by this point in time. The different links take a moment to piece together the entire story, but thankfully, websites such as Sexy Girl Max 2019 fandom exist to help make the process a little bit easier. Rainbot made a brief 13-minute video on the topic entitled "Exploring the Sexy Girl Max 2019 Tumblr account," and provided updates in a follow-up video. If you're interested in learning about the specifics of this bizarre alternate reality game, I encourage you to check her videos out. Beginning on March 17th, 2018, with the inaugural video System Restore. This room does not exist as an Unfiction series that deals with a Matrix-like virtual reality known as The Interior, a sinister corporation, and two young adults struggling to make sense of what they've uncovered. Created by Alex Truly, the story follows the characters of Ryan and Abigail, who discover flaws in a seemingly perfect virtual reality world offered by an insidious company, and steal vital information regarding its existence and operation. Due to their actions, the unnamed corporation seeks to hunt down the two individuals and prevent them from leaking what they know. As the series pushes forward, viewers uncover horrid invasions of privacy and a virtual police state within the Matrix-like world. The corporation claims that their virtual reality will bring all of these amazing things to those who use it, but in reality, they only seek to control and influence those within their system. The lines between fiction and fact, reality and unreality blur together and become hard to distinguish. Distorted cameras, chromatic aberrations, flashes of other locations, individuals, clips, and messages from the corporation itself become staples in the series' presentation. I'd love to go into more detail, but I believe this series is best consumed through actually watching it, not hearing some brief synopsis. The production quality of the series is outstanding, and the crew behind it, Lexel Studios, has created other amazing series and short films as well. I highly encourage you to check out the channel and series for yourself, and to give the creators the support and love they so deserve. Unfortunately, I will say the team has halted production on the series in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic and due to school schedule conflicts. As of 2023, the series has not resumed and is on an indefinite hiatus, though in its current state, the series could be considered finished. Tier 4 of the Iceberg focuses primarily on entries that, for the most part, are less popular though are still great Unfiction properties. From this point onward, the creator of the Iceberg knows that there will be at least one entry per tier of people attempting to make horror-related content, due to certain series gaining more attention. One or two of the entries on this tier have been substituted for alternatives. Alex from Tennessee is a classic 4chan horror tale posted on /B, which is a random board on the site. Just as a forewarning, do not go to B unless you want to see some fucked up shit. The thread follows a 4chan user named Alex, who explores an abandoned house somewhere in Tennessee, after a man he meets at Walmart asks him to meet up at said abandoned house. This weird unnamed individual appears to be the same person who previously attempted to lure 4chan users to the same abandoned house a few weeks prior. He did this by posting the coordinates of the house and claiming that a hidden prize of some sort awaits those who venture down to the property. And after being goaded by 4chan users, Alex actually goes to the house. While exploring the house, Alex posts photographs and updates as he goes along. Alex goes on to describe what he sees and hears, describing a decrepit structure with trash and scraps, smells of decaying food, and the sounds of a car and strange rustling in the house. Eventually, Alex finds a stairway down to the basement, and, with horror movie level intelligence, decides to explore the pitch black underground, taking photographs as a form of light, and to share what he's found. Users following along with his journey found a plastic bag containing a tortured possum, and a message from the original unnamed poster: "Played sedate, a very important mate, you shouldn't have come. I lied." After a handful more posts, Alex goes quiet, and is supposedly never heard from again. Some Ordinary Gamers does an excellent 15-minute deep dive into the thread for those interested in learning more, seeing more photographs from Alex, and hearing a unique perspective on the story itself. County Bluff is an ongoing Unfiction series with uploads as recent as November of 2022. The channel itself began uploading videos in November of 2016 and has been posting somewhat regularly ever since. The series starts off with a series of near nonsensical videos, acting as more of a surreal art project than any cohesive story or overarching narrative. They aren't too dissimilar from those artsy deep web horror videos discussed around the time of the initial videos. Later entries follow a similar pattern, employing video distortions, apparent random real-world footage, and low resolution. All videos use some form of a cipher to relay a message of some kind. Messages regarding alien communication, government conspiracies, and more. While many videos are posted, many more have since been deleted or privatized. As of 2023, I haven't seen a solid explanation of what County Bluff is even about, if anything at all. Some find it hard to believe that the person behind the account would post for over 6 years, with no master plan in mind, while others believe the channel to be nothing more than a dumping ground for spooky and enigmatic videos. After watching it myself, I cannot figure out the specific purpose of the channel either. If there's an overarching story, it's entirely lost on me at this point. Some internet detectives attempted to link County Bluff to another ongoing mystery, known as the 41818 mystery, of which I have little knowledge. It revolves around an individual receiving a voicemail through Twitter, but beyond that much, I do not know. If you're interested in checking the channel out, I encourage you to do so. The game is still ongoing, and if there truly is rhyme and reason to the videos, maybe you'll be the one to figure it out. Happy hunting. Let's Zero. Having only 11 subscribers and around 72 videos in total, the videos themselves have very few views, with none breaching 1,000, and a vast majority lingering under 100 views. The videos start off with no real cohesive story. Some videos are dark and contain little to no sound, and others just show a random scene or image. The initial style for the series is to show nothing of consequence whatsoever, at least, nothing that contributes to any kind of story. For that reason, much of the videos can be skipped over as they do not add anything to the story or narrative, nor are they particularly interesting to watch. It's only until entry 11 does any kind of story begin to form. The primary character is Dave Wachowski, who appears to be going through some kind of mental crisis. According to an associated Facebook account, Dave has amnesia and is being stalked by someone, and he's trying to find help with both of these issues. The account appears to serve the purpose of sharing his journey and solving the mystery of who he is and why he's being chased. The first year of videos does little to nothing to move the story along outside of establishing who Dave is, and the fact he's on the run from somebody and is constantly low on food, places to stay, and money. The second 2 years of the ongoing series begins to lean into the stalker narrative a bit more, including videos of strange noises at night and weird papers being left at his door, before returning to the standard non-narrative nonsense videos. All in all, Let's Zero attempts to create a series around an amnesiac being chased by some stalker, but fails to find its footing nor find a proper narrative. Robert Helpmann, a bizarre YouTube channel that posted 10 videos on July 12, 2015, features an apparent dead body as a protagonist of the series. Each entry displays a body wrapped in a black bag and tied with duct tape performing seemingly mundane tasks. This deceased individual, known as Daisy, goes through macabre actions set up by their supposed murderer. For a moment, some internet users truly believed someone had uploaded videos of a corpse, though these beliefs vanished quickly. The series itself does not have an overarching story, and instead seeks to unnerve the viewer more than anything, though it does appear to provide a commentary on the 12 days of Christmas. Christmas is like a dead body. I'll let you fill in the rest. Inside of Mind does a brief 10-minute overview of the series if you're wanting a more in-depth look.
I just wanted to say thank you for getting me a little bit famous. I'm just so happy that people think that I'm, I don't know, pretty.
Bon Skinny, a TikTok and Instagram user that began posting around 2 years ago, features the eponymous user of the same name. Known as Bonnie to her fans, this individual wears a strange mask with a massive smile and clown-like red hair. Her uncanny character drew in users, but the actual content of her videos began getting traction and circulating online in late 2019 and early 2020. Bonnie's home appears to be in disrepair, her mental stability is in steady decline, and she appears to be in a state of distress, characteristics that had users in early 2020 concerned for Bonnie's physical and mental well-being. An abusive foster father figure appears in the videos, and at one point, locked Bonnie in a cage as a form of punishment. Bonnie also places a great deal of importance within physical beauty, as seen in multiple TikTok videos and in the form of the mask. She hyperfixated on noses and eyes in particular. As time passed, however, Bonnie was revealed to be nothing more than a character. The creator used Bonnie and her mask to vent, as in real life, she had Krausen syndrome, a type of genetic syndrome wherein the seams of the skull fuse abnormally, which affects the shape of the head and face and often creates protruding eyes. In order to deal with the harassment she received and the horrid comments on her appearance, the creator used Bonnie as a coping mechanism and as a way to vent. During the creation of her videos, she and her fans were targeted and doxxed. People attempted to expose her, post photographs of her, and overall made her feel unsafe. One final post made by Bon Skinny notes that she's done with the character, that she's trying to move on, and that she'll be receiving surgery to modify her appearance. A video series by Blair Abigail goes into great detail on the drama and situation surrounding the series, and its abrupt cancellation and erasure. Rainbot also takes a look at the content itself and pieces together a deeper message. Overall, your final opinions on the situation and on Bonnie herself is up for you to decide.
We can't deny.
Beginning in May of 2016 and ending in June of 2019, the deeper alternate reality game strings together a series of videos in a macabre and downright creepy fashion. Each video hints towards real-world homicides and missing persons cases. Ciphers, audio clues, and other methods of conveying information point watchers to the names of the victims of these crimes or these missing person cases. These videos are periodically uploaded over the course of a 3-year period before ending in June of 2019, after the supposed death of the original account owner. The ARG, getting a solid cult following since its creation and dissolution, received praise for its use of ciphers, the enigmatic content, and the greater mystery viewers tried to solve. However, despite this, the series also garnered heavy criticisms for its use of real-life homicide and missing persons victims. Many perceived it as disrespectful to the families and to the victims themselves, while others believed it to be nothing more than a clever device employed by the creator. In 2017, Rainbot uploaded the video, YouTube channel points to actual murders, Deeper, where Rainbot dives into each of the videos, their subsequent ciphers and audio clues, and gives her perspectives on the series. If you're interested in learning the specifics and understanding the hidden messages in each video, I recommend you watch her dissection of the series. Knock Plus 10, while initially presented as an elaborate puzzle game, begins to reveal a horrifying reality that exists underneath our oceans. Knock 10 began in March of 2015 and is still going strong today. The creator uploads only a handful of times per year at that. If you're wanting to get into the series, you'll have a bit of waiting to do. The videos themselves typically feature flashing imagery, grinning visuals, a myriad of ciphers to solve, and a strange and complex narrative that begins to unravel the further one goes down the rabbit hole. The name itself, Knock Plus 10, is naval shorthand for Naval Operations Concept 2010, which is a guidebook on the implementation of maritime strategy. This also hints towards the nautical focus of the series. The premise of the series is that the videos are created by an artificial intelligence trapped at the bottom of the ocean within a decaying underwater base. This AI, stuck in their research station Nocturne, desperately wishes to be killed and put out of its misery as it sits alone in the base. However, as new videos begin to be released, the mystery surrounding the AI's purpose, the reason for being down at the bottom of the ocean, and even hostile phenomena in the deep begin to be revealed. Mindmind has 2 excellent videos on the topic, each sitting at around 23 minutes in length. They go into detail on each entry, analyze the subsequent ciphers and clues, and give their feedback and opinions on the series thus far. If you want to learn more, I suggest heading over to their channel. tryfg was a rabbit hole first unearthed through 4chan forums in May of 2019. A user, punching in random keys on YouTube, came across a series of strange videos. Not long after this discovery was made, similar posts began being made on other social media websites, such as on r/conspiracy over on Reddit, all containing similar messages. According to this poster, they claim videos featuring legitimate cannibalism, horrific surgical videos, maggots crawling out of children's eyes, and actual snuff material could all be found through the simple search term on YouTube, with ciphers hidden away inside the videos. Some entries featured either a hand puppet or photograph of Elsa and Spider-Man, with strange messages such as, "You can trust Spider-Man," and "Come follow us." As the videos continued to be uncovered, multiple channels became involved with the mystery. Eventually, all signs pointed towards the small South Carolina town of Pelzer, and within it, a cult known as the Finders. This cult, which is a legitimate cult with real-world arrests and raids in regards to child abuse and sexual exploitation, began to be the focus of this mystery. According to online researchers, names linked to the Finders appear to be registered offenders primarily from the state of Florida, and one anonymous user even claimed their nephew was almost abducted by a member of the Finders. From here, the mystery only began to widen and deepen. By 2023, most of the videos relating to the tryfg mystery have been privatized, deleted, or had the channels removed altogether. All that remains of the cult mystery are the videos saved by other users, and the clips seen within video essays and internet documentaries. Next, we released an in-depth analysis of the topic in July of 2019, entitled 4chan Unearths the Mystery. The video provides more information and continues the mystery from where I left off. If you're at all interested, I suggest watching that video.
In the year 1999, a corpse descends from the cosmos, right into your backyard.
While the original Iceberg discusses the corner folk mythology created by Alex Casanas, the series has seen fantastic success over the last several months, pushing it up to a higher tier. Given that we've already discussed it as well when going over the Monument Mythos, I'll be substituting another Unfiction series deserving of a place on this iceberg, Midwest Angelica. Beginning on January 21st, 2022, and still ongoing today, Midwest Angelica is a highly stylized, expertly crafted Unfiction web horror series. The series, taking place in the mid-1990s, follows a fictional organization known as Home as they deal with an alien entity approaching the Earth. The first major installment, known simply as Home, introduces the audience to the organization and the discovery of an alien life form drifting through space. This life form, which they dub AZ-001, eventually makes its way to Earth. Along the way, it began to psychologically influence certain members of the team before its ultimate arrival. Unfortunately, the Angelica did not come in peace. Midwest Angelica is an ongoing and still active sci-fi horror web series. The series uses handheld footage, VHS aesthetics, and the nostalgia of the 90s to relay its story. Original music has also been composed for the series, being featured in each entry. As of right now, few YouTubers have done much analysis of this series, but I have created a video covering the first 4 entries on my channel. If you're interested, I suggest checking out the official YouTube channel and my video to learn more about the expanding world of Midwest Angelica.
I'm telling you.
Dark Harvest 00, a series that focuses on the paranormal happenings of a teen and his friends, began in the early days of the Slenderman ARG and Unfiction craze in 2010, and completed its story in 2020. What ensues is a horror series that follows in the footsteps of Marble Hornets, Whispered Faith, and so many others. Standing at a total of 71 videos, the series produced a majority of its videos in its first 3 years of life, but began to slow down in late 2013 and early 2014. Despite this, the series garnered and maintained a strong following during its run, and is often considered to be one of the top 5 Slenderman web horror series. The series was praised for its initial grounding in reality. Effects were used sparingly, the scares were more subdued in nature, and the actual reveal of the Slenderman does not come until 11 episodes in. The first video, uploaded on November 26, 2010, follows a simple premise. An unnamed protagonist decides to record their house after experiencing weird stuff happening for a few weeks. From there, the main character Chris ropes in his friends to further investigate the creepy goings-on in his home. They seem to worsen with each subsequent entry. Strange emails, entities lurking outside second-story windows, glitching and distorting electronic devices, and disembodied noises that both horrifies and intrigues Chris and his friends. As the series progresses, Chris begins encountering a proxy known as Kind von der Ritter, which translates from German as Child of the Night. This proxy operates a second channel that bolsters the story mythology of the Dark Harvest arc. Chris finally encounters a mythologized Slenderman as their life begins to spiral out of control. One of Minecraft's oldest alternate reality games, OldRoot is a cancelled Cipher-based ARG that ran from July of 2014 to March of 2016. The game covered multiple different platforms, ranging from Reddit to Imgur to Tumblr to YouTube. The story began on July 11th, 2014. Reddit user Lewis Green received a private message from a user named OldRoot. The message itself, reading, "This is the beginning. Those who are pure will see what hides in the darkness," contained a link to the following image. Inside this grainy screenshot, a distant Steve skin can be seen as well as a link to a SoundCloud audio clip. By running it through a spectrogram, the audio reveals this message: Silent Raven. From here, the mystery hops from some clues to some ciphers, hidden photographs to hidden links, Caesar ciphers to Morse codes, all adding to the mystery of who or what OldRoot was. Over the course of the game, recurring themes, content, and messages appeared sporadically. References to the Raven pointed to an overarching antagonist within the game world. The Raven is watching. He stole my face. We are waiting. And even longer messages, such as, you are deeper down the rabbit hole. False prophets will deceive you. Those who are pure will see what hides in the darkness. The Raven is always watching. We are the answer. A video entitled, Quoth the Raven, Nevermore, appeared online on July 18th, 2014. Ciphers and hidden clues continually pointed to Edgar Allan Poe's poetic works, mainly The Raven, with references to Lenore as well. Clues pointed to The Cipher by Giovan Battista Balasso, references to biblical verses and stories, and so much more. After months turned into years of the game continuing and continuing, the OldRoot alternate reality game came to an abrupt halt in 2016 after an insane amount of ciphers, clues, and puzzles had been pieced together. The final clue reads as follows. An author lies dead, an author unknown, remaining dead, remaining untold. And that, along with one final post from OldRoot on Reddit announcing the cancellation of the game, brought the OldRoot saga to a sudden and unresolved conclusion. By 2023, the game still has no definitive resolution, nor any solid theories on what exactly the true conclusion to the mystery is. To this day, it remains unsolved. Later, it came to be known that the author behind the OldRoot mystery is none other than Alex Bale. Yes, that Alex Bale, the same one who crafted the delightfully bizarre Pizza Time Pizza YouTube series discussed in the previous video. Bale discussed the reasons behind the game's cancellation. He felt disheartened that he continually had to give clues to people to solve the ciphers, and he wanted the puzzles to be harder and harder to solve, taking longer and longer each time, rather than solved quickly or with assistance from himself. When OldRoot began getting traction and coverage again in 2021, such as in the Retro Gaming Now retrospective and analysis video, posted in June of 2021, Bale took to the comments of various videos to relay his surprise that OldRoot had not been forgotten, that people are still interested in the mystery, and while he enjoyed his time creating it, he believes he's much better creating ARGs and web series by this point in time, and encourages all to see his new material. And with that, the OldRoot mystery remains in a cancelled state, doomed to be forever unsolved. Gregory88, shortened simply to Greg, is a now finished Twitter-based alternate reality game. The series ran from July of 2018 to January of 2019. The creator utilized written posts, photographs, and short videos to relay the unfolding story. Gregory88 received praise for its convincing practical effects, simplistic yet inventive creature designs, pacing and character progression, and the creepy occult undertones strewn throughout the series. Beginning on July 22, 2018, the story of Gregory88 follows the titular Greg. After the death of his grandfather, Greg finds out he's inherited a secluded house up in a forested region near a large lake. It's quiet, secluded, and lonely. With no real way to take care of the property nor interest in keeping the house for himself, Greg drives up to the cabin in order to sell it as fast as he can. It is while he's attempting to sell the house, the strange events begin to unfold. On his third day, a bizarre handmade triangular artifact made of sticks and bones and twine is tied to his front door. Then another appears. Then another. And another. And another. And another. While he's getting rid of all these artifacts, Greg stumbles upon evidence of human life, clothing, trash, notebooks, and more. Later that same day, he meets the individual stalking him around his property. Horrified, Greg begins to second-guess himself about staying at the house. Soon, Greg notices he's being watched by a boat adrift in the lake. He finds an eyeball in a stream, and rustlings in the wood keep him constantly on his toes. As the series progresses, Greg finds himself falling deeper into a strange, occultish, and monstrous nightmare, one he's desperately trying to escape. The series ends on an ambiguous note, with the fate of Greg and the surrounding community left up for interpretation. However, to fully understand the wider mystery at play within Gregory88, you'll need to experience it for yourself. YouTubers such as Rainbot, Louie Lane, and Sir Spooks cover the series to varying degrees if you're interested in learning more about the concluded Twitter story. You can also experience the story for yourself by heading to @Gregory88 on Twitter. All in all, Gregory88 is a unique and chilling story that deserves a higher place on this iceberg.